guys, my name is Joshua Amangala, aka Jabnings. I'm a comic book writer, artist, and motion graphic designer. First of all, as a comic book artist, you have to pour into as many how to draw books as possible. And you also need to read comic books with an observer's eye. You're not just reading it as a fan. You're also trying to get insight into how the artist who illustrated that book or issue, what made him do what he did. And also, of course, listening to podcasts from these artists, from creators who have already made it in the field. And as a motion graphic design artist, of course, you need to watch as many tutorials as possible and practice, because it's not something that you can easily learn. It's something that takes a lot of dedication, discipline, and all that to actually get to a certain point. Like I'm gonna, let's say, reach out to a client or gonna work for. In today's world, you have different ways in which comic books are being made. The different classification of comic books. You have the black and white mangas, you have the full-color serials, and graphic novels. So it depends on what you're working on. If it's a manga, you have to make sure that everything is on par. The story, first of all, the story is the first thing. You have to make sure the story is good and the illustration is good. And of course, you have to make sure that what you're printing, whatever post-production equipment you're using is actually good, is good enough for what you're actually doing. Because what you develop on the system might not even be, it might look different when it comes out through a printer or something. So you have to make sure that at every stage of production, you have to make sure that everything is okay to get a good complete work. Royal could be these are, even though they've done different things outside of comic field, these are guys that have a lot of vision. When you read their books, from Strike Guard, Boxer, these are guys that when you read their work, you sort of see that passion of what they do. Quiet, very quiet. Helps you think. And where I grew up too. I grew up in a school, so I already got used to that kind of environment before I even got into drawing and design and all that. So it's something that I believe helped me develop as a creative. And it was funny. I watched a cartoon episode of Johnny Bravo, and he was reading a comic book that I decided to emulate, and that was basically it. I got fascinated with the idea of creating stories through panels and word balloons, and that was just how it started for me. And ever since then, I've been going through a lot of material and all that just to get better, to improve myself.